What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about 3 different cryptos in this video today. First, we'll talk about Zora, then we'll talk about KTA, then we'll finish up the video talking about Cookie DAO. This should not be a long video. It should be a pretty brief analysis on all of these coins because they haven't really moved much in the past couple of weeks. So if that sounds good to you, hit the like button, subscribe, and let's get into it, okay? Zora first. 7 hours, 17 minutes left in the day. We've got, about just under 4 cents being the price here. Moving down, you kind of remind me of most cryptos right now. Most of them kind of look like this, where over the past 5 days, we've just had this little slump. Is it possible that you could see a lower price? Sure, it is, right? Unfortunately for Zora, you did see a lower low here, and while this was promising, it did look like you had a fake out potential right there. You've come back down. It looks like you're not going to get this double bottom, so you probably do go a little bit lower. And when I say a little bit, I'm emphasizing that a lot because a little bit. It's not going to be extreme. I don't think Zora is going to break through the floor here, right? But a little bit lower nonetheless. How low can we go? We look at this on a weekly time frame. We take the low, the all-time low to the all-time high here. I mean, that 0.5 area looks to be a pretty significant area for support. If not, I mean, could we go all the way down here, down to 2.39 cents? That would be kind of intense. I'd be very surprised by that, but just with the fact that we've closed now on a weekly time frame, 1, 2, 3 weeks in a row, looking to close our 4th week in a row below the 382, it's really hard for me to assume that we don't find support at the 0.5, or that we wouldn't at least push down to that level, okay, if not further. What we're doing here, though, we are playing with fire, right? From our price action, as far as historical data is concerned, there's not really much in the way. Let me just delete everything here. We'll put a white line at 34 cents there. We'll just put one right there, right where the 0.5 is. It's like right there, right? Like right there. That's where the white line is. That's our target destination for now. Okay, so we look at this, and typically how price action works, right? You'll find resistance at prior support, prior resistance here, right? If you're in the middle of nowhere, you'll continue to push higher. If you're in the middle of nowhere, you'll continue to push lower. I don't know what just happened there, why it's doing this. Let me plug this in real quick. Let me fix this. So whenever you're in these moments, these areas where you just kind of shot up straight, if you break the floor, you can kind of fall down at a very rapid pace as well. And fortunately, this area would provide support. Fortunately, from a low to a high, that area also comes in line very well with our golden ratio. Unfortunately, it's at 2.4 cents. We're at 4 cents now, so that would be a very big drop for Zora. And if Zora drops, being that it was one of the more dominant cryptos during that October 10th crash time, if Zora was to drop 40%, I can't imagine that's going to bode well for the rest of the markets. There might be a drop coming in for the rest of the markets too. I don't see that happening. I don't see Zora dropping 40%. I don't see the rest of the market dropping 20% or more. I mean, it could happen. 14%, I can see that. That's a little bit more palpable. But the thought here again is, if we're dropping down 14%, if we're dropping down to that line, we're now no longer in this area where we found support before. We're kind of in the middle of nowhere's land, so it would make sense to then free fall potentially back down to areas where we did find resistance before, where we could find support before. I'm actually kind of curious, would that area line up with anything here from a low to a high? Oh my God, guys. It's the golden ratio there. From a low to a high. It's the golden ratio zone here. And it's your prior point of resistance. It's pretty perfect. It is pretty damn perfect, guys. It could happen. The lowest, I guess, that I could see us achieving would be 2 cents in price. It's just such a far drop. I don't imagine it happening personally. But if it does happen, man, I might just sell everything to buy some Zora. So then in the case of that, what we want to do is we want a fake out, okay? We're finding support here where we found a little turbulence, but as soon as we get through this, the floor is gone. There's no floor. We're going to drop down to areas of the most significance, of most relative significance, which would at least be there at like 2.5 cents. From here, that's a big drop, right? If instead we get like a fake out, something like this, but it's successful, it actually takes us away, that's the only way that we can go lower than this low here and not drop down to something that's around 2.5 cents or lower. So we need a fake out. Fake outs are very quick down and quick up kind of things, right? You won't get a fake out if we move down like this and then we're moving sideways. That won't be a fake out. That will likely promote lower price action to go. Okay. But time will tell. That's my thoughts on Zora. I do believe that we're going to recover. I do believe that we'll move up higher regardless of what comes our way. Whether we find support here, whether we find support here and we move up, whether we see a slightly lower low, we get that fake out and then we move up, whether we go all the way down to 2.5 cents or lower and we go down to this area and then we move up, I do assume Zora will see new all-time highs here pretty soon. And I would think that by the end of Q1, we're at the top end of our next phase up. My assumption is from here, Zora should be moving up to about 46 cents to $1.17, somewhere in this area by the end of Q1. If we move lower, those targets will change. Okay. If we move a little bit lower, those targets don't change. If we find support here and we start moving up, those are our targets. But we'll see how it goes from there. Anyways, that's Zora. KTA is the next one. Spent way too much time talking about Zora. Let's talk about Keeta. Keeta has been pretty disappointing since its listing on Coinbase back in the end of October there. You've dropped a good bit. You're at 21.8 cents now. 2 days, 8 hours left in the week here. Stochastics, RSI, MACD, they're all sad, but it's a new chart, so it doesn't really matter. Daily time frame here, very bearish RSI, bearish price action, bearish stochastics, and the MACD, unfortunately, is bearish as well. We had this nice bullish divergence. We basically just relinquished it. We didn't do anything with it at all. This was the movement that we got with our bullish divergence. This was the movement that we got with our secondary bullish divergence over here. We're just not doing much with it at all. And now we have what looks to be a flat base with descending highs. It's not a good look, guys. Definitely makes me think that we'll break out to the downside. I wonder, do we have anything with volume? Yeah, we're very low in volume. We're about to break out. We are about to break out. We probably do go lower. Probably being the key word. Doesn't have to happen, but probably being the key word there. Was it here? Has it been that long? Let me just see here. Hold on, guys. So we're looking at KTA. Oh, we're on the crypto chart. I want to be on the Coinbase chart. That's what it is. Right? And then we had this right down here. So we filled all the gaps. That's the positive. We have filled all the gaps. We did move lower over the past week. When's the last time that I talked about KTA? I don't remember us being this low. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's like the last time that I looked at this thing, we were at like 24 to 27 cents. Anyways, KTA USD here. RSI makes me think we go lower. Stochastics, MACD, they make me think we go lower. There's no support coming from the 4-hour time frame. I doubt the 1 hour is going to save you. We've been moving sideways. It's not reliable at all. Yeah, you're bearish on all accounts. So lower we go. Where might we go if we do go lower? Let's just see what might make the most sense. If we take this low to this high here, golden ratio zone seems fitting. Be somewhat of like a double bottom even, but then we actually touch it. Yeah, 17 cents. 17 cents double bottom for KTA. That makes sense to me. And then let's just see. I'm just kind of curious. Would this be about a 14% drop? Yeah, it's about the same drop that we might see with Zora. Which again, Zora, we're not expecting a 40% drop. We're expecting a 14, 15% drop. This is more on par with that. And the reason why we're saying that is if one crypto is dropping that much, maybe the whole market's going to go through some kind of drop. Not every coin's going to drop 20%, but the average coin might drop 20 or 15% here over the coming days and weeks. Maybe to start off the new year. 17 cents for KTA. That's the next target. Double bottom, and then we can move up and find support and move higher. I am definitely considering buying more KTA at 17 cents. I'll let you guys know if and when I set up buy orders, where those buy orders are, and if and when they hit as well. I'll let you know. At this moment, it's just a thought. It's something that I'm flirting with. 17 cents seems like a very opportunistic moment, and I love all kinds of cryptos, man. I love Bitcoin Cash. I like Onyx Coin. I love Cookie DAO, Toshi, Turbo, XRP. We love them all. We Litecoin, Ethereum, we love them all. But KTA at 17 cents, I mean, I might have to take that opportunity. We'll see. Anyways, that's KTA. I do assume that we're going to recover from here and move up to new all-time highs as well. KTA's next target area, if I'm right, should be worth several dollars, $3 or more. We're at 21.8 cents with the prospects of going to 17 cents. There's a lot of potential here, you guys. A lot of potential for growth. KTA. Then we talk about Cookie DAO, which also is at a very, very appetizing price, all the way down here at about just below 4 cents as well. Now you've got a flat base. I mean, here, when we found support, we moved up pretty immediately, right? Here, when we found support, we moved up pretty immediately. Here, you kind of had a flat base. You did find support, but it didn't hold, right? Right here, we've got a kind of flat base. Here, you had a flat base. Here, you had a flat base. Here, I guess you moved up more or less immediately. Typically, these flat bases, they don't get me excited for upside potential. Maybe at best, we get something like this, and then we come down to lower lows. You know what I mean? Maybe we get something that takes us above 5 cents, and then we come down to lower lows. But I don't know if it stops here. Low to high here. 1272 support down to the 1414. Yeah, you're probably going to go lower. This thing hasn't respected its fibs too much, but you do look like you're respecting this fib. Right? Support right at the golden ratio, resistance right at the golden ratio, support at the 786, resistance at the 786, support at the 886, resistance at the 886, support at the 1272, no resistance at the 1272. Maybe we come up, we find some resistance at about 4.5 cents to 5 cents, find some resistance there, and then we come down and we go to our $0.35 level. The lowest I'd give us is 2.5 cents, so very similar to KTA or Zora, interestingly enough. But I think we'll probably hold 3.5 cents as support, maybe 3 cents, somewhere in that range. It's very common to wick below the 1414 and then close above it. So 3.5, 3 cents, somewhere in that range. That's what I would expect to the upside or to the downside. And then from there, Cookie DAO, we're expecting a hell of a recovery with Cookie DAO. Let's see here. We look at Cookie on the weekly time frame. You have weekly bullish divergence that's been building since September. On the MACD, no bullish on the no divergence on the stochastics. Why can't I talk? But you are at these low points that you've typically found macro lows at here. You did not really find a macro low here. You did move up a little bit over the weeks, but not really too much. You reset yourself and then you continue to go lower. You just typically don't go lower than this on the stochastics, right? You're very near that zero level, so I doubt we go too much lower, but a little bit lower nonetheless. And then the RSI right here being at the oversold zone, that's a perfect area to bounce, but we might have a little bit lower to go just so that this RSI can touch the oversold zone, and then we can recover from there. At the end of the day, I'm expecting that we see a hell of a recovery. We're going to see a V-shaped recovery here. These type of like parabolic movements, whether it's to the upside, whoops, that wasn't the best drawn, whether it's to the upside or to the downside, when they break, you typically get these V-shaped patterns, these blow-off tops or V-shaped recoveries, right? And typically those patterns, they go where where it kind of starts, the V starts, right? So we would either pump up to about 15 cents, that might be where the V starts. Maybe the V starts right here, or perhaps it's all the way back up at this high, but we should see a rather robust movement that would take us up at least to something above 15 cents, if not likely all the way up to 35 cents or more in Q1. That'd be my expectation by the end of Q1. And then going into Q2, we can talk about new all-time highs. But until then, let's just see some recovery. I have full faith that Cookie DAO will see new all-time highs, but it's just going to take a little bit of time first, okay? Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. I want to actually, before we end the video, just for Cookie here, I want to see Cookie BTC. There's no BTC chart, so we'll have to make one. USD, BTC, USD. We'll do the index, and then we'll just do Bybit. Sure. Yeah. Click enter. Let's see. Yeah, you've got weekly bullish divergence on your Bitcoin pairing as well, which is nice. Bullish divergence on your stochastics, and no bullish divergence here, but you're pretty reset on your weekly indicators. What about the daily? And this is priced in Bitcoin. Bullish divergence there. Actually, I have bullish divergence on every indicator. I really don't think that we go too much lower, guys, but lower nonetheless. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.